Pros Roofing, Siding, Windows, and Doors for the ultimate HOG here. We'd like to welcome in one of the finalists, one of our 5 finalists, James S. of Kenosha, along with his nominee, Renee. Welcome to the program, guys. Glad to have you here today.
Thanks for having us.
We were, we'll get into your anti-heroin advocation in a few minutes here, James, but your occupation as a chef, we were arguing off the air. What's the difference, if any, between a chef and a cook?
Not really.
Nothing? There's nothing.
A chef is more in charge
Okay.
of a kitchen.
Oh, see, that's what we thought.
So,
Yeah. You kind
a
of
chef is more of like the leader of the kitchen.
Okay.
So a cook is more of the underlings, you know.
Do you design dishes or come up with entrees?
Not at the packing house, no.
No?
No.
I have in the past when I worked in a place in Racine called the SIP.
Okay.
Would that be a chef job or a cook job, or can anyone do
It'd
it?
be a cook/chef.
What if I come in the packing house and I insist that you prepare my food?
I don't know if you'd want that.
Of course I would. I want the
It
chef.
depends on what you want. I mean,
I want
you know.
a real good steak.
Oh yeah, I can handle the steaks, but
Or-
when it comes to like the sauté part of the kitchen, no, not at the packing house because I've been there for 2 years, but I've never worked at.
Give
that
James a
station.
good piece of meat. He'll cook it up
Oh,
for
yeah.
you. You'll
Okay.
be fine.
Nice
And a good
bloody,
side.
nice
What's
and
the
bloody.
best side that you prepare?
There, I'd say
Garlic mashed potatoes?
Yeah,
All right.
some good garlic mashed potatoes, even at home. Put a little extra sour cream in there, a little extra
Right.
butter.
Good.
You know,
And I want a dessert. Best dessert you can make in 15 minutes.
15 minutes. I'd have to say
Cheesecake.
a creme brulee or a cheesecake.
Creme brulee. There you go.
That's good. You got a torch to burn that sucker?
Yes.
All right, he's
And
in.
see, now I'm the type that likes that extra crispy sugar on there.
There you go.
Know, these guys, they put it on there, it looks like it's just not even cooked, so.
You're gonna fire that up.
That's
I got
why
it.
you're the chef, right? 'Cause you
Right.
got the extra touch.
Yeah.
That's
I know that.
exactly right. We're talking with James from Kenosha, one of our HOG Hero finalists this summer. And it's been a great summer, having all these submissions come in, reading all these fantastic stories. You hear so much crap in the news, and everything's negative, and there's this and there's that, and all you hear about are problems. And we thought we'd just take a few weeks to highlight some of the good people in our community right here in our own backyard who make a difference. And Renee submitted a fantastic letter on behalf of James. Renee, what's your relationship to James? How do you know this guy over here?
I met him years ago when I used to bartend at Marco's, but we hooked back up. He looked me up on Facebook, and then we became good friends, and we started 3.5 years.
3.5 years.
You're lovers, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, now he's a chef. Who cooks? Go ahead,
I
Renee.
think we both are.
Yeah. She can handle her own.
She can handle her own. All right, yeah.
There's things that
I
she
don't
does.
like to cook. I love ramen noodles.
Right. That's about my speed. That's what I'm cooking at home. Well, I'll tell you, Renee, as we went through your letter and you talk about just the great impact that James has, we're hearing from all walks of life, which is fantastic. Yesterday, we had a young lady in here who is a CPR advocate whose daughter had some major unknown health issues, and now she's created this great program and is helping educate people in the area of CPR. Addiction is another area that affects so many people, and from my own family to friends, I think we all know people who have been afflicted with addiction over the years. Talk a little bit, and then I'm going to get into, we'll get into talking to James here in a sec, but as you nominate him to be the ultimate HOG hero, what is it that you see in him? I mean, if you can just kind of sum it up a little bit, what is it about James that sets him apart in the way that he gives back to the community?
Well, it sets apart because he was a heroin addict, and he's been clean for 4 years, and you know, there was no resources out there, which in Kenosha there is no place for them still to go.
Yep.
And you know, when he started getting clean, you know, he wanted to start this Facebook page, which was Stop Heroin in Kenosha. This was all on his own. He lost his best friend to heroin, and that's a big part of it, why, you know, he woke up and said, hey, this is going to be me next.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's lucky to even be here after, you know, what he has gone through and been through in his lifetime. So to see a lot of people that have passed away that he was close to because of the addiction, he wants to say no more dead friends. Let's not bury no more friends, you know what I mean, loved ones. And, you know, he does this all on his own, like the Stop Heroin in Kenosha barbecue. That was all, you know, on his own, that he, you know, put this together, and it was for the people to come together and try to understand and get resources. There's parents out there that, you know, have children that are addicted to the heroin that don't know what to do. There was no resources out there, so he was trying to get people together to, you know, have pamphlets, you know, have, you know, like he's trying to do where they can learn about the Narcan, you know, how to just, you know, to do that. So it's like a big process, but as he's doing this, he's doing it out of his own heart,
Yeah.
and out of his own pocket. He's not asking for anything except for if you can, you know, donate your time, or if you can, you know, just come down there and bring your resources that you have, you know, like the needle exchange. You know, he was trying to contact everybody and anybody. And, you know, when it comes to Kenosha, for the longest time, it was like the word heroin was like, oh no, shh, hush, hush.
Yeah.
But the whole Kenosha, I'm sorry to say, there are so many people out there that are dying, and everybody's just being blind to it.
And this giving people who had nowhere to turn a resource,
Right.
somewhere to turn.
Let me follow up with that, because I think there's still a lot of cynicism with people about drug addicts saying,
Absolutely.
"Oh, you made your own bad choice.
Right.
It's your own fault." But one thing I heard that always stuck with me years ago, I heard somebody say that addiction makes good people do bad things or make
Absolutely.
bad decisions. So
Absolutely.
what would you say, James, to those people that are still cynical, going, "It was your choice. It's your own damn fault. Why should I care?"
It can happen to anybody.
Right.
You know, I don't know if you guys know who John Nygren is, state senator, his own daughter. But, you know, there's some cynical people out there that still, you know, that still have that stigma. You know, you made your own bed, lie in it. Well, you know, I chose to use. I didn't choose to be addicted. I chose to make that bad decision, but I didn't choose to. When it came time for me to say, hey, enough's enough, people think that you can just say, hey, I'm done. You can't. I mean, this stuff is so powerful that it's like taking the flu and having it times 10
Right.
or more. I mean, you know, I don't really want to say stuff that happens to you on the air physically, but I mean, you go through a sickness that is just incapacitating. And like Renee said, there's nowhere to turn out there. When these people do say, hey, I've had enough, I don't want to do this no more, there should be a hand out reaching saying, I have you. You know, I work every day with parents, teachers, the whole community. I get phone calls. Like when I walk out here, there'll probably be 10 messages on my phone of my daughter, my son. I mean, these are walks of life that people think the average heroin addict is the bum, the Skid Row bum, the guy in the corner with a brown bag. Right now in the United States, there's 129 deaths a day, and the average person that dies is the 22-year-old white female from the suburbs.
Right.
A middle-class child.
It's in our schools.
So-
it's everywhere.
Right.
It's,
So
yeah.
say, you know, I mean, everybody makes mistakes, and heroin today, it isn't heroin. It's cut with fentanyl. It's cut with carfentanil. This stuff is deadly. The granule size of a carfentanil is.
What is that?
Carfentanil is an elephant tranquilizer that these people are cutting this dope with and putting it on the streets. Fentanyl is 100 times more powerful than morphine. So now take pure morphine and inject it in your veins. More than likely you're going to die. So when you take something that's 100 times more powerful and inject it in something and stick it on the streets, and these kids that are, first off, that are starting out by stealing the stuff out of their parents, their friends' medicine cabinet, go to the dentist, have a root canal, wisdom tooth pulls, and the doctor says, here's 20 Percocets.
Yep.
Now, does your child need 20 Percocets for a wisdom tooth? No, I mean, come on.
Well, they give it out. They give it out.
They give it out like candy.
But I
I'm a
think-
recovering addict. I go to the ER and I'll tell them I don't want no narcotics. I'll
you
walk
can't.
out with my paperwork.
Yeah, you can't.
There'll be a script in there for 20, 30, 40 Percocets. And I'll turn around and I'll
But
say,
you know
look,
you can't.
I know I
You
can't.
right?
Not today.
But I
I've
think
lost.
the difference. I think the difference is, James, with heroin and with other drugs. Heroin can kill you on the
Yes,
first or second or third
absolutely.
dose. If you smoke weed or if you drink, I mean, it could be a progression of bad things to come. Even doing blow when I was a kid and a young guy, and I had problems with that. It was still an addiction. It was more of a mental addiction, not a physical addiction. Right. And I went through stuff, and I had problems with my family. Some of my friends dumped me. Time to go. This has got to stop. But I mean, I wasted 10 years of my life,
Right.
and it's not heroin worse, I believe, than anything else. Am I right?
Yes.
I have to be. I never tried heroin. Can you get me some?
No, that's fine.
No, I'm joking. Come on now.
I haven't used heroin or seen heroin in 4 years. And
James,
just how prevalent
that was a bad joke. I didn't mean it, but I'm just
how
saying.
prevalent it is in this community. Me, not even being from Milwaukee, she lives on 27th and College. I'll go to PDQ and I'll say, dudes will be like, hey, come here. I got a F heroin shirt on. They'll be like, hey, come here. Hey, man, you looking? Nah,
Yeah,
man, get out of here. I was in Kenosha doing a heroin rally last year. I had a stop heroin button. This guy in uptown Kenosha called me over and was going to
He wants
give
to
me a
hook you
bag
up.
of dope. Wanted it free.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got the ink, you got the beard,
know?
you got the look, man. You know, come on.
You know,
Man.
but that's exactly why I started this. See,
Yeah.
I have the background where, you know, if somebody learns from a book and goes up to a heroin addict and says, hey, this person looks at that guy and says,
Yeah.
what do you know?
Right.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've done this.
You're not
Right.
relatable.
I've been there, done this.
Yeah.
I started this. This is Stop Heroin. This is the second year I started. This is a barbecue. I have a foundation coming from Florida that comes up. Last year we had about 300 people. State representatives showed up. Aldermen from Kenosha showed up. This is something I planned last year. It took a month. I just planned it just because. It's free, it's open to the community, free food. I have volunteers for the Renaissance Fair to come, paint everybody's faces. We have activities for the kids. This year I have local resources from the Needle Exchange, from the AIDS resource, so people can come and get AIDS test or hepatitis. They can learn how to get Narcan training. All this stuff is free. It's all in the community. But every day, like I said, when I walk out here, I'll probably have 10 messages on my phone. My child is going through
What do I
heroin.
do?
What
Where
can
do I go? Right.
Yeah.
And
It's so serious you can't even, you could
Right.
go on and on and on and on.
You can,
And-
yeah.
And people don't even know, but it happens to everyone.
everyone in all walks
Somebody's
of life.
family, somebody's friend, a kid, a 16-year-old kid that took a pill and wanted to get a little higher, and now
Right.
he's dead.
Exactly.
I listen to at work. I listen to
Yeah.
Liquid Lunch. And Mindy, I had messaged her and I said something about her. Her alone, one of her best friends, had passed away.
We
And
were-
I
we
knew
were-
the guy.
Yeah, we were there through that whole thing
Yeah,
with
and
no question.
so I mean, when people think, oh, heroin addicts are bad people, no, they're good people that make bad
Right.
choices.
hear
And
ya.
and what I do out in the community is like, say, one of you call me and need your child to get help. Now, if the child is willing, I can get that kid into detox. We can hook him. I can hook up with somebody else can get him into a treatment center free of charge.
Right.
Or if they have insurance or whatever. But if they don't have insurance, that doesn't put up a roadblock. We can get them in there, get them help, as long as this person's willing. I have these bracelets I made, Stop Heroin Kenosha. Enough's enough. That's what I said. Because somebody has to stand up and say, when is too many lives too many? I've lost in my lifetime probably close to 70 friends to this addiction.
Man.
Wow.
And like she said, my best friend Ricky, he passed away. Me and him known each other since we were kids, before the addictions even took over. And when he died, it was like looking in a mirror. And I got online and I'm like, well, who can I talk to? What can I do? There was nothing. So I started a group called Stop Heroin in Kenosha. Today there's over 2,500 members. It's a private group, but I also have a public page. And it's informational, it's an awareness. Every day I put a post out there. If somebody needs help, if they want to talk, I put my phone number out there. 3 o'clock in the morning, if you feel like getting high or whatever, you need help, call me. I'll come out and have a cup of coffee with you. If that's all it takes to save your life, I'm there. If all I have to do is take you to the hospital and sit with you or whatever, I've done it many, many, many times. I've been to St. Luke's, I've been to hospitals in Kenosha.
Yeah.
Once somebody said, well, why do you do it only for Kenosha? I don't. I'm from Kenosha. That's just a name. I've been to Door County, as far as Madison, helping people. And it's only because there's hardly any resources. So they keep looking and looking and looking. And there's only a small opportunity, a window.
I think you relate to people too.
Right.
Being an addict, and that, you know how it is. You lived it.
Right.
And I just think I think you're doing a really great thing. I really do.
You know, I get messages all the time. You know, when I got a call from whatever the guy, Scott or whatever, said that I was nominated as a hero, this all came out. I was joking to Renee about it, you know, and all of a sudden this guy calls and said I was nominated as a HOG hero. You know, I'm not a hero. I'm just a human being that has compassion for the next man. You know, if all I have to do is come to you and say, hey man, you don't have to live that life. You don't have to die. You don't have to die a heroin addict. You know, I kind of refrain from the word junkie because, you know, I just hate that word because, I don't know, junkie just seems so dirty. I'm an addict, I'm a heroin addict, whatever, but, you know, that junkie word just, it seems like I still put that stigma on it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've made mistakes in my life, but you know what? This is what I do today. This is what I do now. You know, yeah, I'm on a board at the local methadone clinic as a stakeholder to help them. What can they do in the community to, you know, to get the awareness out there to help the next people? There's a guy that he's got a program in Illinois that he's starting where an addict can walk into the local police department and say, hey, I'm an addict, I need help. Instead of being prosecuted, they can get help and go get help. You know, walk in, here's my needles and this and that. Because we're not gonna incarcerate our way out of this epidemic. All you're doing is making more and more of a problem. Now, if you take a cancer patient and lock him away, when he comes out, is he cured? No. So if you take an addict and put him in prison for 5 years, and when he gets out, is he cured? No.
Right.
Unless he gets the treatment and help that he needs. You know, and I mean, me being an addict and going through what I could, like you said, I can relate. Any heroin addict that'll tell you that they like what they're going through, they're a liar, and I'll tell them to their face because it's misery. I call this misery. It's pure misery. I mean, it is.
Well, and I know you say you're not a hero, but all the things that you have said is what makes somebody a hero in this day
I
and
agree.
age.
I really agree with you. I want to shake your hand.
Thank you, Mitch.
I'm telling you, we love you, and you are a hero.
He is. James, it's fantastic stuff that you do. So, I'll keep it up and keep doing what you're doing because you're helping so many people get through this.
Real quick, has the second annual barbecue happened yet, or is it
This
coming up?
Saturday.
This Saturday.
Everybody's
So
open.
give us the details real quick, time and location.
Simmons Island in Kenosha starts at 1 till 9 p.m. It's open to everybody, free food. I myself have collected over 100 pounds of hamburger and 100 pounds of chicken. We got sides, we got tons of water. I got a bakery in Kenosha that's donating all the buns. Another thing is that the girl came to me, she's collecting donations for school supplies for needy kids. So I put that on there, put a box out. People bring, you know, school supplies and, you know, donate them to the community. Just, you know, I've taken so much in my life and, you know, it's time for me to just say, hey, if I can help one person and save one person's life, I made a difference. And that's all I set out to do here was to help the next person not go through what I had to go through.
And that's what we're here talking about and what we love. Is there a website where people can get the information?
Stop Heroin in Kenosha. It's on Facebook. There's a public page and there's a private page. So.
Sounds great. James, Renee, thank you guys so much for taking the time to come in and share your story with us today. You can read more about their story. And again, weigh in with your vote. It is the Ultimate HOG Hero campaign here at 1029 The HOG.
It's all with Exterior Pros, roofing, siding, windows, and doors. $10,000 in remodeling from Exterior Pros, Waterworks Plumbing kicking in, that getaway stay at the American Club, game tickets on the 50-yard line, new boat and guided fishing trip for 2 on Green Bay, including a one-night stay at the Sand Bay Beach Resort from All Out Marine. KJ Stevens and granite quartz or solid surface countertop, just some of the prizes. Like James's story, vote for him at 1029thehog.com. James or Renee, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Really appreciate the time. It's 1029 The Hog.